What up, YouTube? Before we start the video, we got a very important announcement for you.
That's right, we have our new milestone giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. That is a CGC 9.8 graded Thor #1. This cover is a Nick Klein sketch variant that is also signed by Donny Cates.
What? Are you crazy? Yes, we are. When we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving away this bad boy. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It would be much appreciated because we want to give this away, but we only can do that when we hit 2,000 subs. Let's get to the video. What up, YouTube? I'm Jim, and welcome to another new Comic Book Day video for the week of May 1st. And that's right, we're flying solo this week, but just for this new Comic Book Day, don't worry, Nate will be back for the live show. You can count on that. But let's go ahead and get into the video because we got no time to waste. And it's a good week. It's a little bit of a short week, but that's only because we have free Comic Book Day coming up this Saturday, which we may do a video for that, but we'll see. Anyway, first up from Distillery, we have The Blood Brothers' Mother, issue #1 from Brian Azzarello. I can't speak today, and Eduardo Risso. And this is a Western about three children, essentially, or three sons going after their captured mother. So their mother has been kidnapped, and they're going after her captors and trying to find her. This looks pretty dope. I'm not reading any Distillery books at the moment, but I know Nate has been really enjoying all the books that have been coming out through Distillery, and you know, they got the magazine format, so it's kind of a little bit more of a premium format. I know the books, you know, feel good in your hands. The pages are really nice. It's not a cheap print. So I'll be interested to see what he thinks about this. You know, reading the description, I don't get a sense of a horror vibe because most of the Distillery books have been kind of horror-esque, but you never know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a curveball in there that ends up becoming somewhat of a horror book. I mean, look at the cover. It's pretty menacing. But this does sound very interesting, and I'm very eager to see, you know, what Nate has to say about it on Sunday. All right, our last independent for the night is going to be Space Ghost, issue #1 from Dynamite Comics, and this is from, I think, David Pepose, I believe, and I am super stoked for this. I was a huge Space Ghost fan when I was a kid, when he had a show on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. And, you know, the old school cartoons obviously were very cheesy, but this looks freaking awesome. This looks epic. I hope I don't know. David Pepose has been amazing. So let me double check that before I start like going down that rabbit hole of saying it's David Pepose, but I believe it is. I mean, I think that's another reason why I picked it up. Not Greg, David Pepose. Yeah, no, I'm super stoked for this. This looks amazing. I think it's going to be great. Dare I say potential pick of the week? There's some good comics this week, but I've got high hopes for this independent, so we'll see. But yeah, super stoked for it. Hey, I'm interrupting the video. It's only because I've got something really important to tell you. I know you know what we're giving away when we hit 2,000 subscribers. I gotta let you know about what we're giving away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. We're giving away this Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by Jim Chung, CGC grade 9.8. When we hit 1,250 subscribers, you could potentially win this, but you have to be subscribed to our channel. So hit that sub button, ring that bell, give us a like. Let's get back to the video, shall we? All right, jumping over to Marvel, we're going to kick it off with the Avengers Marvel event Blood Hunt from Jed MacKay and Pepe Larraz. So this has got some big expectations on it. You know, last week when we had our Avengers book dealing with the Fall of X, it was a very, you know, a quick conclusion to their involvement within that, which is fine. But then it was just immediate jump into Blood Hunt. And so that has me a tad worried because, you know, I don't know. I have faith in Jed MacKay. His books are amazing. But when you end the Avengers book and it's like, oh, we're jumping right into it, like, hopefully that's kind of just like a teaser and we get into this and there's a little bit more of a ramp up build up to this whole thing, rather than like we're just running right into it. Now, I'm sure that there might be a narrative where we do that and then we kind of backtrack to see how we got to this point. But, you know, at the end of the day, I am excited about it, and that's saying a lot because I don't like vampires in my comics. So I'm very stoked for this book. And then if you're not, there is a M-rated or a mature version being released with extra pages and a little bit more brutality that will be coming out too. So I'm getting both copies, but I decided to put the standard copy here. But be on the lookout for that. If you're gonna read it and you're wanting to get a little bit extra and a little bit more goriness, there will be a mature version. And again, I will be it'll be interesting to see, what the differences are, and if they'll be that more impactful and worth the extra money to buy that issue. So lots riding on this book for sure. After that, we have Immortal Thor from Al Ewing. This has been a super fun series. We're doing this very meta corporation buying the rights of Thor concept, and Ewing is cooking right now. He is flexing his creative muscles. He's flexing his meta muscles when it comes to like commentary on corporations owning these properties. It's very much it does feel very much like a commentary on just kind of his observation of, big corporations owning these characters and kind of doing whatever the fuck they want with them. So this is such a unique and different arc. I'm very curious to see how this all kind of evolves and potentially wraps up moving forward. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm liking it. And then obviously these Alex Ross covers are just effing fire. So, you can't miss with an Alex Ross cover. I dare you. Tell me in the comments what's the Alex Ross cover that just misses. I bet there's not one. All right, after that, we have The Incredible Hulk, issue number 12, and we are going to be actually getting involved with the Strange Academy, or at least the school itself. The Hulk and his, traveling mate, if you will, has been turned into like this little doll, and he's got to find some help, and it looks like he's going to Dr. Voodoo and the Strange Academy to get that undone. It would appear that Nick Klein is finally back on the book, so yay. But for how long? We'll have to wait and see. But, outside of the constant shifting of artists, which we talk about a lot on this channel, if you just kind of move away from that narrative and not talk about it, this has been a fun book. Philip Kennedy Johnson has been killing it with the story. And, I guess the only thing I'll say is, like, can we keep Nick Klein on the book for longer than 2 to 3 issues? Because when he does, the book is incredibly solid. Like, he just does such an amazing job of bringing Philip Kennedy Johnson's ideas to life with his artwork. So let's hold strong and make sure he stays on the book for a little longer than 2 issues. And dare I say, potential pick of the week. We'll see. All right, next up we have The Invincible Iron Man, issue number 18. This is another Fall of the House of X tie-in. We've got Magneto coming in to save Iron Man. We're establishing Magneto as the head of the mutant movement of the X-Men. And I think whatever happens in this book is going to be an establishing point for McKay's X-Men, and having Magneto basically be the leader of mutants, or at least the main coalition of mutants, because we really don't know what we're going to get when we get into McKay's X-Men, if there's going to be a divide. I'm sure there will be, especially when you lose a nation state. Like, there's going to be separations, and I'm sure we'll get more villainous mutants rather than unity. But again, I've said this before. Like, this is fine. Gary Jerry is intertwining his Invincible Iron Man and X-Men runs together, and the real question is, like, once the Fall of X is done, does Iron Man continue? Do we continue to get Iron Man stories, or does it end and do we get a new writer for Iron Man? I personally would like to see Gary stay on the book, because I think before the involvement of the X-Men, I think, and not to say that with the involvement of the X-Men it's been bad, it's just we know where we're going with it, right? But once we get out of this X-Men thing, it'll be very interesting to see where he takes the book. Obviously, we need to deal with Rhodes and being in jail. I'm sure there'll be some Blood Hunt tie-ins. So, I don't think this book, I know a lot of people are speculating that the book is dead, or it's going to be done after Fall of X. I think we got a couple more issues, maybe a couple more arcs before Gary Jerry gets off the book, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, our last Marvel book of the night from McKay is Moon Knight, issue number 5, with Capuccio on the artwork. And it is a Blood Hunt tie-in, so it is our first Blood Hunt tie-in involved here on the show. Like I said, I'm not picking up any Blood Hunt tie-ins outside of any of them that are actually involved with the books that I'm currently pulling. So this is going to be one of those. And, I've been enjoying Moon Knight. We got or Vengeance of Moon Knight. We got a reveal of who this person is. And I remember both me and Nate were kind of like, wait, who is that? So we're kind of in the dark here. But it does feel somewhat purposeful, so I'm not too frustrated with it. But, you know, we're really going to see how well McKay can flex his creative muscles when he's got a massive event going on. He's got the Avengers, and now he's got Moon Knight and soon to be X-Men. Dude has got a lot on his plate, and from what I've seen, the dude can deal with it. Like, the dude is crushing it. So, you know, we'll see how in depth the tie-in is, or if it's just literally for namesake. But I am excited for it. So, yeah. All right. I lied. Our last Marvel book of the night is actually X-Men issue number 34 from Gary Jerry. And this is technically the penultimate issue to the X-Men storyline, but I really do feel like this is going to be the final issue of X-Men going into issue 35, where 35 will establish the new lore and establish the new storylines, and it'll be just more of a wrap-up, bring in other writers as well, telling other stories, getting us ready for the summer when the X-Men relaunch. So I anticipate this issue to be the last issue of X-Men. Will it be a finite conclusion? Probably not. I'm sure it'll be something like, and the story will be concluded in the last issue of Rise or Fall of X. Like, that's probably where we're going to get it. But this to me is the final issue of the story. And when we get issue 35, it'll be more of an establishment of, here's what happened, here's what we're going to be doing forward, get ready, see you in July. Like, I think that's where we're headed. So I believe that this is basically our final issue of X-Men, dealing with the whole idea of Krakoa and how it may or may not survive. We'll have to wait and see. I have a hunch that it will, but not in a capacity that it's game changing. It'll just be another story narrative for a separate sect of mutants that aren't necessarily in line with the X-Men. It'll be just a nation state that is off on its own, and as long as you don't fuck with it, it'll be fine. And I'm pretty sure the ruler of that is going to be Apocalypse. I'm telling you right now. So we'll see. All right, our last book of the night is DC's Nightwing Annual from 2024 Annual. You know, I am not. I know Nate's picking this up. I am not. I am not, like, just the subtitle on it, The Secret Origins of Babe Bennett, Pirate Queen. Like, I was not at all excited about that storyline. Just wasn't for me. I just didn't. You know, I didn't enjoy it. You know. It'll be interesting to hear what Nate has to say about it, but I'm just not, like, for me specifically, like, annuals have really lost their luster in me getting them, because they just, I know sometimes they kind of establish like a new writer or what we're going to do in the coming months, but like Nightwing is ending and I just don't, not interested. But I'm sure Nate will read it and he'll love it, because he loved the Pirate Queen storyline. He really enjoyed it. So we'll probably end the show with him going, "You missed out. Why didn't you read this? This was great." But I'm over annuals from everyone, really. I mean, maybe not independent annuals, but when it comes to DC and Marvel, I'm just kind of tired of them. They get my hopes up, and then when you read them, you're like, "Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting." So sorry to end the show on that note. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's New Comic Day video for the week of May 1st. Let us know down in the comments, what are you picking up today? What are you reading first? And what's your potential pick of the week? Let us know. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It'd be much appreciated, as we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers, but we can't do it without your support. So please make sure to hit those subs. And we've got some really tasty goodness that we're giving away when we hit our sub goals. And you saw it throughout the video, what we're giving away. So make sure to hit that sub button. It's definitely worth it. We'll catch you guys live this Sunday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, where most likely, I'm almost positive, it will be me and Nate talking. But if not, it'll be me flying solo. But I think it will be Nate. Nate's in the middle of a move right now, and so he's getting his whole setup together and his whole apartment together. So that's a lot to do. So give us, just have a little bit of patience. If he's not here on Sunday, don't worry, I'll take care of you. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be here, and we'll definitely be able to bounce off of each other and back and forth and hang out with you, chat, because that's what it's all about, just hanging out and having a good time. So, as always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. Later.